Hello, my name's Mike. I'm the creator of Destiny Engine, the founder of the Astral Atom Network. And in the last week or so, I've been giving a lot of thought to how it is that people are getting such insane results just sleeping their way to success or rewriting their health, wealth, and relationships with Destiny Engine, and how you could do exactly the same thing with or without our product and with some binaural beats. Uh, Obviously, I think our product is the ultimate game changers. That it's the completely new way of brainwashing yourself, because if you can hear it, you can believe it, and if you can believe it, it can become your destiny. So why is it that people are getting results with this and they're not able to with other things? And I think it's got a lot to do with the upward and downward spirals, like the downward spiral of failure and the upward spiral of success. And if you're locked in the matrix, I feel like a lot of your family and friends are in somewhat of a downward spiral. Like you'll hear the same stories at Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter. People will have the same relationship problems month after month, year after year, and nothing happens to break the pattern. And once the pattern takes hold, the person sort of gives away their living essence to just a pattern, like just a stuck playbook of emotionality and tendency and habit, rather than being in the upward spiral where you can be a living person and you can respond to alive situations in the ways that a living human can choose to respond, rather than acting as an automaton. And like the downward spiral of failure just means that when you're looking for things to go wrong, and we've all been there, that so many things have gone wrong before, like why shouldn't they continue to go wrong? Like I was a failure in school. I didn't get the grades. Nobody believed in me, and so I didn't do good in sports, and then I didn't do good on my college entrance exam, so I didn't get into college, and then I didn't get a good job, and so I didn't perform well on the job, and my boss hates me, and I don't make that much money, and everybody's out to get me, and it'd be so much easier if the government didn't take so much in taxes, and if the weather weren't so shitty lately, I'd be able to go out and change things, if my boss wasn't such an anus, blah 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 blah. Just looking for reasons to fail, which is the default, and it's easy. You don't really have to think at all to get in this tsunami of failure. But there's an upward spiral. There's an upward spiral of success. Whereas instead of the worse it gets, the worse it gets, when it rains, it pours, you can get yourself trained into the better it gets, the better it gets. And things just continue improving. The rich get richer. Instead of being like the downward spiral person, hating the rich, hating the healthy, because we just think that they have something that we don't have, that we can just as easily be in the same upward spiral, the same laws of abundance, the same universal principles that work for the healthy, wealthy, and wise work for, like, why wouldn't it work for you or me? Of course it does. And I did a little bit of homework this morning into how this actually works in the brain, because the testimonials that we're getting are just insane. Some of the comments people leave, like this individual says, I'm calling Destiny Engine my genie in a bottle. Thank you so much for your insights, your honesty, your authenticity, your story, and inspiration. A tremendous amount of value I've received. I'm so grateful for every product and service you've continued to amaze and most definitely over deliver when it comes to the value I've received. So much gratitude. Yes, thank you, Vanessa. Somebody else, first time I saw Destiny Engine, I realized this is it. After over 10 years in economic decline and bankruptcy, I believe Destiny Engine is the best way out of the blue without a second thought. People saying that they just found a bunch of money randomly after running the fast money protocol. And we got people logging in every single day, and not just a few, hundreds. And I use this every single day, and aside from magical speculation as to, we're using some magical frequencies and it just warps reality, which maybe it does. But I've also been looking for more mundane and scientific explanations for how this reality shifting machine actually works. So the mundane reason that I can come up with is that when you layer the affirmations, and that's what the system does, is you can layer affirmations, especially in your own voice using an AI clone of your own voice, layer the affirmations with binaural beats into some kind of hypnotic state like alpha or theta, or you can do it while you sleep and sleep your way to success. But when you do that, you're programming yourself to look at that upward spiral. Because if the voice in your head is constantly giving you ways that you're going to fail and ways that things are going to go wrong, that's what there's a part of your brain called the reticular activation system. And this is the thing that lights up when you're on the chase and when you're approaching a goal and you're in this flow state, or you're focused on something, whether it's a video or you're writing or you're jogging. Like, your reticular activation system locks onto something and it controls the movement of your eyes, like what you choose to look at, what you choose to listen to, and what activates your nervous system. So we're all in the same reality, I guess, but why do some of us see opportunity and some of us see, not opportunity, I guess, like opportunity to fail? Whatever you call that. Problems. Some people just see problems. And on a super mundane level, without any kind of mystical framing of what these frequencies do for your aura and for your spirit, absent any of that, as near as I can tell, this is reprogramming your reticular activation system to focus on the types of things that would benefit you and be more suited towards what you want. And it's just making you more attractive, because where attention goes, energy flows. So the reticular activation system is literally the seat of your attention. So if you're programming this thing to look at reasons to fail, that's where your attention's going to go. That's where your energy's going to flow. But if you're looking for reasons that you're going to succeed, you're going to start to see opportunity everywhere that you may not have seen opportunity before. So you're reprogramming yourself to look for opportunities, signs, and symbols that reinforce whatever it is that you're trying to believe, instead of the old beliefs that keep you stuck where you are. Uh, Carlos Castaneda writes about this, that your your attention, like you can trap your attention so that your second attention can flourish, uh, but it's about controlling where that attention goes, like what you feed with it, like whatever you feed with your reticular activation system sows a thought. Like you sow a thought, you reap a tendency. You sow a tendency, you reap a habit. I think Gandhi said that. But you're sowing all these thoughts, habits, and tendencies just by virtue of what you look at. So Castaneda talks about looking for omens, like in omens sound. Jesus, omens sound sort of mystical, but it's true. Like the universe speaks to you in a language that isn't verbal. It speaks to you in signs and symbols. And if you choose to look at the signs from it, you look for those confirmations and you accept those confirmations. You acknowledge those confirmations. And if you acknowledge the confirmations that serve you instead of the confirmations that don't, you will get into the upward spiral. And it will make you more attractive to money, to people, to whatever. And it's about putting your, like, investing your attention instead of spending it, and giving it away to things that take your power. So a lot of the programs that we've built into Destiny Engine are designed to do that, are designed to subconsciously reprogram you to focus on the signs that you're getting a positive benefit. And that's the most mundane explanation that I can come up with. And I think the mundane stuff tends to live in the delta, alpha, theta ranges, although there's mystical things that happen there, like the hypnagogic state, where, and this has been happening to me a lot lately, where you'll feel like you're falling as you're drifting off to sleep, or you'll see places that you're not actually there. That's what happens to me all the time. Is I'll quote unquote hallucinate that I am somewhere where I'm not. Like, I'm not sleeping in my bedroom. I'm actually in another room of the house, or I'm in some other place entirely on the other side of the country. And I'll wake up and be surprised that I'm actually here. It was more real than a dream. It's the hypnagogic state. So that's theta. But I think those implantations of those mundane modifications to your reticular activation system with mystical consequences, but the mundane belief implants occur in those alpha and theta ranges. So between 4 hertz and 10 hertz. So 4 hertz is the bottom of theta, and 10 hertz is the top of alpha. But then, if you want to get woo, and I do believe in this kind of stuff. I can't prove it, but the mid gamma and high gamma ranges, where the advanced meditators, rishis, and people that have trained their mind relentlessly over decades, they're the ones who are able to put their brains in these states at will and exhibit high proportion of gamma waves, whereas, like, those of us who didn't go through that will just have sporadic gamma activations. But with the binaurals, you can actually reach high gamma very easily. And it does take some training. It does take listening to over a period of time. So if you want to do that in Destiny Engine under under the focus protocols and the official classified protocols, you go to focus, and there's beta, alpha, beta, and gamma protocols that are just the pure sine waves generated on device. So there's no quality loss whatsoever like you get on YouTube. So you could just play with those ranges in the official protocols. But then when you layer those with affirmations, like those high gamma, that's where you're manifesting. That's where you're collapsing the wave function on reality. That's where you're really shifting. Is in those gamma ranges. If you want to make something happen, if you want to influence the external world, I believe the gamma is what you want. I mean, they all kind of, these are overlapping. There's no hard and fast like this is what you use for that, but they definitely have their specialties. So I I wouldn't try to fall asleep to gamma. You know what I mean? So if you're trying to fall asleep and you want to just rewrite your core beliefs in as you're drifting off, you obviously don't want to be speeding up your brain waves, especially not to 40, 80, or 100 hertz. You'd want to be slowing them down. Um, but then if you're in a very like active posture, sitting upright, and you're doing an operation to actively influence the reality around you, um, I would play with the gamma states. There is worthwhile material in gamma, and this isn't talked about enough. Like theta is super popular, and so is alpha. Uh, Vishen from Mind Valley talks about the alpha state, how you can download those super conscious insights in the alpha state. You can get genius level ideas in the alpha state. We talk about that in another video, like how we replicated his big alpha implant protocol in about 20 minutes using Destiny Engine. He sells this program for hundreds of dollars for access to it, and I feel like he's not gonna go where we go. Like I, I've talked to some manifestation influencers, and in this space, like everybody's sanitized like a toilet seat. It's all super polished and not genuine or honest at all. Like they just sell manifestation coaching. Well, how did you manifest? Well, I sold manifestation coaching. Like you're, I can't. Um, like it's a different ethos. It's almost like they're afraid to touch anything that might make them look a little bit like a black sheep, like they don't have the perfect life, or that uh, like the darker side of things exists and you have to deal with it. You can't repress it. That you have a shadow side, and not only do you have to make peace with it, you have to integrate it. And there's a dark side to society. There's a dark side to the world, and how do we reconcile the dark side of ourselves with the light side, and not try to win with one side or the other? And how do we negotiate that in a muddy world like this one? And uh, how can we merge both the traditional spiritual with the technological, with the knowledge from secret societies? People have blockages around this. I hear from them all the time. Like they'll say this is like, oh no thanks, I don't need this technology. Like this isn't my path. Respectfully, I'm not gonna define your path for you, but I'm so zealous for life and wherever that takes me, that I'm not gonna rule anything out. Like I've used entheogens, but I'm not going to tell you like entheogens are the way. And I haven't gotten stuck on them, and I think if you get stuck on them, you miss the message. I've looked into like conspiracy theories, and a lot of it really isn't theory; it's true. I've looked into the secret societies. I've I know people that have been inducted into them and have been offered to join and do those Illuminati rituals, and I don't 100% know what happens behind closed doors, and I'd be interested to find out. You know, if they invited me to a meeting, I'd probably go, but I'm also suspicious. I like I can't believe what they some of the evil stuff that's alleged to be happening, and it's more pervasive than anybody thinks. But to point the finger and say it's the Illuminati or this or that, and it's one organization, I don't know. I don't know, but I'll go where the path takes me, and I've censored myself enough to just for the sake of money over the years, and I've already been laid off from my job, so I'm not going to do that anymore because I think there's a lot of people that are honest with themselves about us not really knowing what this is that we're in, like reality, like what is reality and what is and is not our path. I'm not going to be scared by something because it's taboo or because it's technology or because AI is not spiritual or what the hell ever. I'm here to figure it out, and I'm going to document it here. So, it's become clear to me that these these rants that I'm trying to do every day are not going to be 100% polished. I don't have a studio set up. I never really intended to be on camera and talk to people. But I want to document what we're doing, and I want to share everything that we learn in this process, and just taking the opportunity to start a dialogue with you. And I want to hear about the journeys that you've gone on in consciousness. So uh, if this is resonating with you or if it's resonating against you, whatever the case may be, drop a comment. And if you like what we're doing here, consider translating that into a YouTube like, because it helps us out a ton with the algorithm and to growing this presence and being able to uh, do more for more people. Um, I appreciate everybody that reached out after the last video and people trying the new social features. Um, Ronald says he loves the new revision to Destiny engine and the ability to share meditations together. So I hope you guys try the community feature. We're going to make that a little more advanced. I was thinking we could add the ability to share chats and stuff, because I know not everybody knows exactly how to use the AI chatbot or is using it for the same types of things. And uh, I haven't even considered all the different things that we could ask it to produce. So um, yeah, yeah. But thanks a ton for sticking with us on this journey. Oh, yeah, one more thing. I was playing with, like you probably already know if you've been a Destiny Engine user, that tracks can be meditation, they can be affirmation, and they have some kind of binaurals. They could be a musical scale binaurals, or they could be the chakra tones or the solfeggio tones, but it's essentially a carrier frequency plus the beat frequency in the left channel, the right channel, your stereo headphones, and they can have noise, either white, brown, or pink, and a lot of people just think pink sounds the best. But I've been kicking around some other ideas for how to deepen the effect of the binaurals. So binaural beat is typically just a sine wave tone in one ear, and then you have an offset in the other ear, so your brain hallucinates the difference and actually creates that as a third brainwave state, which is how it helps people easily adjust into those deep meditation states without any years of training. But there are other ways of doing that. I read some obscure shit last night. One of those is called spinning pink noise, and this is I haven't seen this anywhere, and it was in one or two places on the interwebs. I couldn't find any other references to it, but I whipped up a quick prototype of spinning pink noise, which actually makes it sound like the noise is swirling, like you're in the eye of a storm and the noise is going around you, and you can adjust the frequency of that to match whatever you're doing with the binaurals. And you can also layer the binaurals, like add multiple carriers. And so over the next few days, I'm gonna dive deeper into that because I want to figure out how to uh, take us even deeper into these states. But that's what I got. Thanks for watching. We'll talk later. Bye bye.